New around here? Like the Bills? Then make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on our passion, and smash that like button. If you're a true fan, drop a Bills in the comments. Now, let's get into the video. Buffalo Bills training camp just got underway, and already whispers are rising from the sidelines. A name, one not many had circled, is starting to turn heads in the quiet moments, in the reps where eyes usually drift elsewhere. We're talking about a late-round pick, a rookie fighting for his football life. When you look at him, he's got the frame, the stride, the hunger in his eyes. Not someone who walks into the room with expectations, but someone who might walk out with a job. It's the kind of player you don't notice until you can't ignore him anymore. Caden Prather, wide receiver, 7th round pick, out of Maryland. But right now, he's just another jersey number, another guy sweating it out under the burning camp sun, trying to make coaches stop and say, "Wait a minute, who's that?" He's not a lock. He's not a favorite. But he's not just filler either. There's something there, a presence, a quiet defiance, a belief that maybe, just maybe, he's not ready to let this dream slip away. In Buffalo, where grit and underdog stories run through the city's DNA, a player like this could be the perfect storm. The kind that starts small and builds with every catch, every extra rep, every stare from a coach holding a clipboard. So here's the question no one saw coming. Could this unknown receiver be writing the first chapter of the Bills' next surprise story? What's up, Bills Mafia? If you're anything like me, you're watching training camp like it's the playoffs, rewinding every clip, reading every report, trying to find that one breakout name before the rest of the world catches on. And today, we've got a name that's slowly starting to surface in camp conversations. Caden Prather. Yeah, I know, 7th rounder, low odds, back of the line. But in this league, all it takes is one spark. Now, before we dive into the story, do me a favor. If you're enjoying these deep dives into the roster battles, hit that like button. It helps more Bills fans find us and keeps this content flowing. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's your pick for breakout wide receiver this season? We've got a lot of names, a lot of potential, and a lot of unknowns in this WR group. Let's hear your call. Make sure you subscribe too. We're dropping videos every day, covering every position battle, every standout moment, every unexpected storyline, because this is Buffalo, and nothing here happens quietly. This channel isn't just about analysis. It's about passion. It's about heart. It's about living the Bills experience together, celebrating the highs, breaking down the lows, and never missing a chance to talk football. So grab your favorite jersey, pull up your training camp notes, and let's talk about the guy wearing number 81, and what he's doing to make you remember that name. Training camp is more than drills and walkthroughs. It's where reputations are built, where underdogs emerge, and where every snap feels like a job interview. And this year in Buffalo, the wide receiver room is buzzing. With Stefon Diggs now in Houston, there's an open lane for new playmakers to rise. Curtis Samuel brings experience. Coleman brings hype. Elijah Moore brings versatility. But what about the guys no one's really talking about? That's where Caden Prather steps in, or more accurately, slips in. He's not walking around like a first-rounder. He's moving like a guy who knows how slim the odds are and how badly he wants to beat them. Physically, he's built for this, tall, strong, and fast. He ran a 4.46 at the combine. He's got the size to win contested catches and the athleticism to stretch the field. But numbers don't mean much when you're WR12 on the chart. Right now, he's just a rookie with a number and a helmet, getting his reps in, trying to survive in a crowded field of talented receivers. But within that crowd, he's carving out tiny moments. And in this business, tiny moments can become big headlines fast. With 13 wide receivers in camp, every detail counts. Every extra sprint, every clean route, every second glance from a coach. That's where Prather is trying to live, in the margins, in the shadows, waiting to explode into the light. And you can feel it, maybe not on the stat sheet yet, but in the air. There's a pulse. A sense that this kid isn't just here to fill space. He's here to make you remember who he is. So how's he doing it? How does a 7th round pick sneak into the conversation without the spotlight? It starts with the things most people don't notice. The body language, the effort, the repetition when no one's watching. In one early practice, while most players were already inside, Caden stayed behind, running routes by himself, working on timing, fine-tuning every break. The field was empty, the sun was setting, and there he was, grinding. It's not flashy. It's not headline-worthy, but it speaks volumes. Coaches see it. Teammates respect it. That's the kind of work that sticks in your head when you're trimming a roster. And then during an 11-on-11 drill, it happened. Prather got matched up against a linebacker in zone coverage and made a tough, contested grab over the middle. Clean catch. Controlled finish. Coaches turned their heads. It wasn't a touchdown. It wasn't a highlight reel play, but it was enough. Enough to make someone jot something down. Enough to make people whisper, "Who was that again?" In Buffalo, toughness matters. Attitude matters. Willingness to do the ugly work matters. And so far, Caden Prather is checking all those boxes. He's not making noise with flash. He's making it with focus. And in a training camp full of uncertainty, that might be exactly what the Bills need. Let's look at the key moments that are starting to shape Prather's identity at camp. The first is that solo session after practice. It wasn't just extra work, it was a message, a statement, a declaration that he's not leaving anything on the table. The field was nearly dark. Most of the players were gone. But there was Prather, cleats still pounding the turf, refining route after route, even without a ball being thrown. That's not just hustle. That's hunger. And then the contested catch. It may have looked like just another rep in a sea of reps, but those watching saw more. They saw balance, hands, control, and confidence in traffic. The kind of play that says, "Put me in again." When you're low on the depth chart, you don't get many chances. So when you do, you'd better make them count. And so far, that's exactly what Caden's doing. He's forcing the conversation. Maybe not in headlines. Maybe not yet in the coaching interviews. But on the field, he's a problem for defenders and a puzzle for decision makers. He's the guy who makes people ask, "Did you see that?" And in the NFL, that's the first step toward being someone they can't forget. Because in this league, attention is currency. And Prather is slowly building his balance. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Right now, realistically, Prather's chances of making the 53-man roster are slim. There are established names ahead of him, guys with NFL experience, rapport with Allen, and inside track on playbook mastery. But the NFL isn't always about the obvious. It's about timing, injuries, need, and flashes of brilliance in the right moment. That's how roster stories get flipped. We've seen it before, right here in Buffalo. Gabe Davis wasn't a sure thing. Khalil Shakir had to prove it. Even Isaiah McKenzie had to carve his way through noise and doubt. This organization rewards the grinders. Prather's college resume is legit. Over 600 receiving yards in back-to-back seasons in the Big Ten. That's no joke. He's played against NFL-level DBs and held his own. His path might be special teams. It might be practice squad. But doors open when players are ready, and Caden's been knocking since day one. The coaching staff won't overlook effort. And fans love a fighter. Someone who plays with a chip, who doesn't care about the odds, who just wants to belong. And in a year where Buffalo is reshaping its offensive identity, maybe there's room for a little surprise. So here's where I hand the mic to you. Do you think Caden Prather can actually make this team? Does he have a shot? Or is he just another camp name we'll forget in a month? What stood out to you most about his journey so far? The contested catch? The extra work? The physical tools? Let me know in the comments, because this story isn't over. And if you're loving these breakdowns, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and share it with your fellow Bills fans. We're building a community here, one story at a time. We'll be here every day of camp, spotlighting every long shot, every big name, every hidden gem, because that's what makes football beautiful. It's not just about the stars. It's about the guys grinding in the shadows, trying to turn belief into opportunity. Let's keep watching. Let's keep talking. And let's keep riding this journey together, as Bills Mafia always does. Because one thing's for sure, this season's just getting started. And we're in for a ride. Are you new around here? Do you love the Bills? Then go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment of our passion, and hit that like button. If you're a true fan, drop a Bills in the comments right now. Now, let's get into the video. Bills fans, we blinked, and Von Miller is no longer part of Buffalo. The guy who came in as the final piece to take our team to the top of the NFL is out. And more than that, he's now wearing the colors of a new conference rival. Yep, Von Miller is officially a Washington Commander. The news dropped like a bomb on social media, and it didn't come from a reporter. It came straight from Miller himself. He posted a photo wearing the Washington uniform, leaving everyone confused and stunned. Soon after, journalists confirmed it. The legendary pass rusher is truly leaving town. When Von Miller arrived in Buffalo, the hype was massive. Fresh off a Super Bowl win with the Rams, he felt like the missing puzzle piece. Brandon Beane pulled out all the stops to bring him in, promising he'd be the closer in big games. And early on, he lived up to it. The defense looked completely different when he was on the field. But then that awful knee injury hit. A tragic moment in a nationally televised game, no less. That's when the dream started to fall apart. Miller tried to stay positive after the injury, said he'd be back soon, that it was only a matter of weeks. But the reality was cruel. He missed the rest of that season. And when he finally returned, nearly a year later, he just wasn't the same. No burst, no sacks, no impact. It was painful to watch a player with that kind of resume be so invisible on the field. Buffalo needed him, and he simply couldn't deliver. As if the physical decline wasn't enough, Von Miller's name hit headlines for all the wrong reasons. He was involved in a domestic violence accusation, and a warrant for his arrest was issued. He turned himself in, and later the partner dropped the charges. Even so, the NFL handed down a suspension for violating league conduct policies. For games out, no pay. Von's image in Buffalo, already shaky, was shattered completely. Fans weren't angry, just disappointed. The connection felt broken. No press conference. No farewell message. No proper goodbye. Von Miller simply didn't return for the next season. The star who came in with headlines left the One Bills drive in silence. And the strange part? He landed with a rival in the same conference. Washington isn't exactly a contender right now, but they're banking on Miller for a spark. And he sees this move as redemption. A fresh start, far from the heavy expectations that followed him in Buffalo. So, what's his legacy in Buffalo? Hard to say. He had some incredible moments early on. He was part of a dominant defense for a stretch. But over time, what sticks is the feeling of an unfulfilled promise. He was brought in to be a difference maker in January, but was never healthy when it mattered. And with the off-field issues, he became indefensible. Still, many fans wish him well. Hope he finds his form again. But in Buffalo, that chapter is closed for good. There's only one way Von Miller could cross paths with the Bills again. Just one possible stage for a final showdown, for redemption or revenge. It would be epic. It would be where everything's on the line. Bills versus Commanders. Super Bowl. Can you imagine that, Bills fans? It'd be wild. And we all know, the NFL loves a cinematic twist. But until that script writes itself, we move forward, looking for a new defensive leader and chasing a new dream. Thanks so much for sticking with us until the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Our mission is to keep you updated with everything about our beloved Bills in a unique and straight-to-the-point way. One more time, thank you for watching, and as always, go Bills!